It's that time of month again, folks. The NPD numbers are out, and it's looking like the PlayStation 4 is #1. But I wanted to go over a whole bunch of different topics in this video. How well the Xbox One is doing. What game was #1? Was it Far Cry 5? How well did Sea of Thieves sell? All that stuff and more right now in the video. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And if you missed it yesterday, I posted my review for God of War, finished it, put 30 hours into the game, love it. Make sure you check out my full review of the game when you got time. But this video is going to be about the NPD figures, and PlayStation 4 still killing it. I'm on VentureBeat, they have the numbers via NPD, and this is their headline: PlayStation 4 outsold Switch, Xbox One, but sales are red hot for all. Once again, another article saying that the video game industry is doing great. You know, Xbox One may be third, but it's still selling pretty damn well. Although that is a little bit counter to what a lot of people on Twitter and YouTube will have you believe. You know, with RIP Xbox day in and day out, they would have you believe that nobody's buying the Xbox One. But of course, people with the information and data know that is the complete opposite. So let's actually see what they have to say about the hardware. They go on to say that for the 2018 year-to-date period, hardware spending has increased 13%, and it's driven by growth in Xbox One spending. This is the highest year-to-date total achieved since 2014. Piscatella, the NPD analyst, says that Xbox One is contributing to the growth. That means that the platform's hardware is selling better than it has in the past, or at least it's making more money, but it's just not selling more than PlayStation or the Switch. You see, if you follow Matt on Twitter and some of his postings on Reset Era, he has talked very highly about the comeback that Xbox has put on this year. He said if he were to give the Xbox and the other consoles a letter grade, the Xbox would have like an A-, but it would be rated higher than the other ones because of how well it's doing, the growth it's seeing, as well as the sales numbers it is putting up. He said the turnaround has been quite remarkable, and that it's on pace to have its best-selling year ever. And that kind of flies in the face with what you hear from a bunch of different people on Twitter or people on YouTube about how nobody's buying the Xbox One X, and it's not the X, but the Xbox One in general, about how it's like a gigantic failure, nobody's buying it. But of course, the people with the data and the information are saying the exact opposite. While the Xbox One may not be selling as much as the PlayStation 4 and the Switch, it is selling quite a lot. And that everybody in the industry is actually surprised by how much the turnaround has kind of lifted the sales figures and outlook for the Xbox One. But that's information you got to look for, and most people don't really actually do that. Sony's PlayStation 4 was the best-selling console hardware platform in March, and it remains the best-selling console hardware platform year-to-date. And the Nintendo Switch 32GB with neon red blue Joy-Con is the best-selling hardware item of March, as well as 2018 year-to-date. Now, when I bought my Switch, that is the one I bought, the neon red and blue, because I thought it just looked cooler than the standard one. So that is hardware. You know, originally, at the beginning of the year, I thought the Switch would win every single month. I thought PlayStation might win God of War month and some of the other ones. It looks like I was proven wrong. The PlayStation 4 has been pretty much dominant at the beginning of this year, mainly backed off the huge releases like Monster Hunter, Dragon Ball Z, God of War, Far Cry, and some of these games that necessarily aren't on the Switch. And Switch's beginning of the year has been kind of stale. You know, there are not a lot of big exclusives for the system, more kind of remasters or games from their Wii U, and it's kind of been reflected in the sales for the console itself. Now on to the games part, which is usually the more interesting aspect of it. And this says March NPD 2018 Far Cry 5 debuts as the top-selling game of the year. So not only the top-selling game of the the month that it debuted in March, but the best-selling game of the year so far. So we have the full list. It says Far Cry 5 debuts as the top-selling title of March 2018 and instantly becomes the best-selling title of 2018. Far Cry 5 set a new launch month sales record for the Far Cry franchise, with consumer spending on full game sales nearly doubling that of the previous franchise best, Far Cry 3. Publisher Ubisoft is the leading publisher in both March and 2018 year to date, which is January through March. And here is the list. You have Far Cry 5 at number 1, Sea of Thieves at number 2, MLB, Kirby, Grand Theft Auto 5 still killing it at the 5th spot, Call of Duty, Mario Kart 8, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, NBA, Monster Hunter, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, A Way Out, Assassin's Creed Origins, Dragon Ball FighterZ, FIFA 18, Splatoon 2, and UFC 3. Now, A Way Out's kind of interesting. It's number 15 here, but we do know that it sold 1 million copies like 2 weeks after the game came out. So a lot of these games seem like they might have done pretty damn good for themselves. It says Far Cry 5 swept the console charts, but it's not the only new game that saw success. Microsoft and Rare's co-op pirate simulator Sea of Thieves launched on March 20th and earned the number 2 spot, despite it only rolling out on Xbox One and Windows 10. They go on to say that Sea of Thieves was the second best-selling game of March and is the 8th best-selling game of 2018. Sea of Thieves generated the highest launch month sales for any title produced by developer Rare since tracking by the NPD Group began in 1995. So basically, they're saying that Sea of Thieves had the best start to a Rare game since they started tracking. So bigger than any of the Nintendo games, any of their previous work on the Xbox, like the Kinect Sports games, which all have gone to sell multi-million copies. So it seems like Sea of Thieves was quite the success. Once again, if you listen to other people, out there, not only will they tell you it's a bad game, which is always kind of a subjective experience. I gave Sea of Thieves a 7. There's promise there, but there's not much to actually keep you playing after you've experienced everything in the first 10 hours or so. But the other thing that they'll say is that nobody plays it and nobody bought it. But yet here it is, the second best selling game of the month, the 8th best selling game of 2018, and Rare's best selling game for launch months since they started tracking in 1995. So sometimes you just gotta kind of distance yourself from the noise that people say on Twitter and YouTube, because it can be such a echo chamber sometime, and actually try to find the data for yourself. And the information is out there, Sometimes you just got to ignore people that have an agenda, as I tend to find that works best for me. Along with Far Cry 5, other franchises also set launch month records, like Sony's MLB The Show and Kirby Star Allies both had the best-selling debuts in their series history, which is actually pretty good. And then they have it broken down here by best-selling games on each platform. On the Xbox, you had Far Cry, Sea of Thieves, and PUBG 1, 2, 3. On PlayStation, you had Far Cry, MLB, and Ni no Kuni 2. As you can tell, it's like multi-plat, but then exclusive. Grand Theft Auto's on both here. Monster Hunter World, NBA, A Way Out. I mean, they pretty much essentially mirror each other, but that's how it kind of usually goes. They have the same library for the most part. But it's nice to see the success of Far Cry, the success for Sea of Thieves, MLB Show having its best debut month, Kirby, Ni no Kuni 2 here at 8. A Way Out over 1 million in like a couple weeks. All 3 consoles basically selling great, even though, PlayStation is winning. They still talk about how well Xbox has come back. So it's nice to see. And then they list here the best selling games of 2018 so far. You got Far Cry, Monster Hunter, Dragon Ball, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, NBA, PUBG, Sea of Thieves, MLB The Show, and Mario Kart 8. Now I wonder, with April coming, the only kind of big game we have here is God of War. Where exactly is God of War going to slot in here? Will it be ahead of Far Cry 5? Probably not, because Far Cry will have an extra month of sales, and we know it did 5 million in 1 week. Will it do better than Monster Hunter World? Will it do better than Dragon Ball FighterZ? I expect God of War to slot in at either number 2 or number 3 when the NPD comes in for next month. But as you can see, we got holdovers from 2017. We got a holdover from basically 2014. NBA is still killing it. PUBG is still selling very well on Xbox. and these are the top 12 the best-selling games over the last 12 months. So all in all, everything's doing pretty well in the video game industry. All three consoles are selling extremely well, and the software is selling just as well. As we saw Far Cry have the best launch for its series, and same thing with Kirby and MLB and Sea of Thieves as well. But you wouldn't know that by listening to other people out there. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. At this look at the NPD stuff. If you did, hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Hit that notification bell. You know, all the good stuff. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Later.